Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Stelzner here. Today, we're gonna go over macros for World of Warcraft. Hopefully I can teach you something here, and if I did, please like the video, subscribe if you want to, and yeah, leave a comment. Hope you guys enjoy it. Alright guys, to get started with macros, the first thing you're gonna do is type /M on your keyboard, hit enter. That's gonna bring up the macros window, and then you're gonna decide if you want to make the macro visible on every character on the account, or just this character. So yeah, just kind of make that decision. If you're not sure which one to do, just do general, just in case. But yeah, so you're gonna click on new here for new macro. You can name it. I'm gonna name mine test macro. And then in this here box, you can put whatever you want the button to do. So I can do a /say got ya, and then a /cast Fire Blast. So now what this macro is going to do is whenever I cast this Fire Blast, my guy's gonna say got ya. So pretty pointless macro, but that's just an example of how to make one. So let's make something that's a little more useful. So let's see here. Stop casting. So if you do a /stop casting, and then cast, and then whatever spell you want to put here, what it's going to do is it's going to stop casting and then cast your spell. So if you got to get an important, CC off or an interrupt, then this is great for that because it'll stop casting whatever you're casting in order to get that off. So an example is like here. So say I'm in the middle of a cast when this guy starts casting an important heal. What I can do is, if he casts it, I know these guys cast spells. So what I'll do is I'll click this, and what it did was it interrupted my spell cast so I could get off that interrupt. Okay, so I'm on my Shadow Priest now, and I want to show you guys another example of what you can do with a stop casting macro. So with my Shadow Word Death here, which is my execute, I want to get that off right when they get an execute range, So if I'm mid-cast, it'd definitely be good to cancel that cast so I can get that off. So simple as that, same thing. Stop casting followed by the spell, and once you get them in execute range, you'll be able to land that much more efficiently. You'll see once I get them down to execute range, I'm going to be mid-channel. Oh boy. Mid-channel, use my macro, and it's going to enter my cast and use my Shadow Word Death. Do it again here. One press. Gets done. Alright, so still I'm a priest. And the next thing I want to show you is an @player macro. This is really good for your slow falls if you're a mage, or levitate if you're a priest. So sometimes when you cast slow fall without the macro, if you're hovering over a friendly character, it'll come up with the little where you can click and choose who you want to put it on. So sometimes you want it on yourself. Almost all the time you're going to want where you put on yourself. So if you're mid-air falling and you got to get that levitate off to save yourself from falling to your death, if your mouse is hovering over a friendly person in a battleground, it's going to come up with that little glove, and it's not going to be on you, and you're going to fall and die. So this macro fixes that by adding the @player in here. You take this out too. So it puts @player, these little brackets here, and this will always cast my levitate on me, even if I'm targeting a friendly player, anything like that. So that's really useful to ensure you're getting your slow fall on you. Alright, the next macro I want to show you is going to be a focus mouse over macro. So let's make one now. I'm going to name it FM for focus mouse over. Sure. Put a cool little picture there. And all you're going to type is focus mouse over. Click save. You're going to drag that down your bar, whatever hotkey you want to use for it. And now when you press that, what it's going to do, it's just going to focus whatever you're mousing over. So instead of having to click on it and go and click on set focus, now you can just hover over something and press that hotkey. I have mine set to one of my mouse buttons, So it's really easy for me to just quickly press that and change my focus target. This is really good for when you're out questing. If you're on a PvP server and you see someone of the opposite faction, you can always just focus them, and then if you see them target you, you can prepare yourself, to defend yourself if they attack you, and you can get a better idea of what's going on in their mind if they're sitting there targeting you or if they're just doing their own thing. Alright, so I'm a warrior now, and the last macro I want to go over, or macro type I want to go over, is cancel aura macros. And what these do is they basically cancel one of your buffs. And where this might be handy is if you're on like a warrior and you gotta get your victory rush off. Well, you can't use that if you're in the middle of a blade storm. So we're gonna make a macro that'll cancel our blade storm so we can get off victory rush. And it's all gonna be in one button, the same button as our victory rush. So here's what the macro looks like. Just a / cancel aura blade storm followed by / cancel victory rush, or / cast victory rush rather. And then whenever you need to use your victory rush, even if you're in the middle of a blade storm, you can press that key and it'll make it so that it'll cancel your blade storm. So definitely good if you gotta get that heal off, if you don't have any healers with you, and it could definitely save your life. Alright, so say you're in the heat of it on your warrior and you're pulling some stuff. Your mid's blade storm and you gotta get the victory rush off. So macro does hit 1, that'll cancel it, hit 1 again, and that's gonna use my victory rush. Without this macro, you'd be just waiting for your blade storm to finish, and then you'd have to use your victory rush. But this will end your blade storm early, so you can get that heal off. Alright, so here's another example of a cancel aura macro you can use. It's pretty useful. So for priest, you have dispersion. This is one of your main defensive cooldowns, and reduces all damage you take by 90%, and it heals you if you have the artifact trait unlocked. So there's times where you don't want to cancel this while it's up because you can't do damage while it's up, and there's going to be times where it's better to do damage than have that up, because if you're not getting attacked anymore, there's no point in having it. So if you make a macro with cast dispersion and / cancel aura dispersion, this will cast it, and if we press it again, it's going to cancel that buff, so we can end it early if we want to. So like here, I gotta use it, press it again, it's going to cancel that, and I'm still going to get the heal from my artifact trait, which is pretty nice. So you can cancel that whenever you want to. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. This is just a basic guide to get you started using macros. I do encourage you to go out and Google, just do a quick Google search, hunter macros, warrior macros, whatever class you are, and you'll find a lot more in-depth macros for your class. So I definitely encourage you guys to do that, because this is definitely just a basic guide to get you started. And I hope it did just that. And yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. And yeah, leave me some feedback on what I can improve on or what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.